I've been saying for quite some time that only the Queen can take away Harry's titles because it's a royal title. I actually was reading Harry Markle's, there's a blog, actually, I really like to read her. And the good thing, and the thing that I read about it is that all the answers from some of the MPs sent to the people who were asking to have Harry's titles removed. And they answer that those are royal titles, so they have nothing to do with it. They're basically washing their hands off of it. Because when Parliament, it's true, their Parliament cannot tell the Queen what to do, but they can suggest it. And if the Queen, and if there's enough pressure, she will act. Now, I don't know why people, but one thing is true, Parliament cannot make the Queen take the titles away. The royal titles are one of the prerogatives that Her Majesty the Queen has, to give them as well as to take them back. Now, it's a big can of worms to do that, because for real, the royal family that's occupying the throne right now, Her Majesty the Queen would really need to purge the royal family, meaning Prince Charles, starting from Prince Charles, then Prince Andrew, because the titles don't match their behavior. The titles are titles of dignity, morality. The monarchy, the reason why it's worked so far with Her Majesty the Queen, it's because the monarch remained neutral, did not interfere, was not commercializing their position, profiting from all the connections and the privileges that actually the UK people give them. Because don't forget that the monarchy is there because the people are allowing it. The minute a referendum is held and the majority of the people say we've had enough, the monarchy will be abolished. Then you will see that they will have, again, I repeat myself, they will have no tax breaks, they will have no privileges, and they won't occupy the castles. Their fortune will be much less. So, for example, if they were to abolish the monarchy right now, when the Queen Elizabeth die, Prince Charles will have to pay death taxes if it's left to him. Unless, of course, he set it up in a trust. You know, they are sneaky about it. With this, what I'm trying to say is that why should they remove the titles from Harry? Meghan Markle has no titles. People keep confusing and say, why don't they remove her titles? She has no titles. The one who has the titles is Prince Harry, and she uses his titles by extension. Other people say if they take away the dukedom, then she will be called Prince Harry of Wales. And of course, we know that Meghan Markle kills for those titles. She does kill for those titles. Not if it's specified that she can't. I really do believe that, and these laws can be passed within minutes. If somebody proposes that only British citizens can hold titles, royal titles. Her Majesty the Queen would have to purge from the top, actually, to clean house if she wants her family to remain in power or monarchy, because don't forget, there are at least 25 other noble families. If the Windsors are removed from the throne in a democratic way and another noble family is chosen, they no longer are royals. Royals is just, they're royals because they are on the throne. But if they're removed from the throne, they cease being royals. This is what a lot of people don't understand. There are a lot of other noble families. For example, the Duke of Westminster, he's the richest one. He's worth like 13 billion or something like that. And I mean, he is of noble birth. His family is part of the nobility. His family could occupy the throne. Why Prince Charles? Why Harry? Well, I don't think we need to say why Prince Charles. Shouldn't really be. I mean, a lot of people have been going on about Prince Andrew and his friendship with Jeffrey Epstein. But I don't know if you notice how the newspapers They talk about censorship and all these newspaper reporters who are now bitching about The Crown season 4 because of Her Majesty the Queen. No, it's not. If you think about it, the first 3 seasons of the Crown were actually quite nasty, especially toward Prince Philip. And yet none of these people that are now bitching about it said anything. It was actually very, very nasty to a certain point that implied Prince Philip's involvement in a suicide, killing, whatever. And you didn't hear the uproar that you're hearing now. This is Prince Charles doing. But the amazing thing is that Parliament, the police, cover for him when they removed his letters of support to these known pedophiles, murderers. They removed the letters. That is unlawful because people didn't understand why this bishop was allowed to get away with so much. And it could have been because Prince Charles influenced the police not to investigate him. Don't forget that Prince Charles bought this pedophile a home, and he denounced his victims as horrible people. All these raped children were terrible for accusing this guy. So people keep making a lot about Princess Diana's mental health. How come nobody's questioning his just because he's a guy? This guy has made such poor choices. You really have to consider his mental health. He's not sick. Mental health and mental illness are 2 separate things. Somebody can be mentally ill and with using medication can lead a normal, productive life. Somebody could have poor mental health and still also lead a very good life. It doesn't mean that their judgment is impaired. Anybody under stress has not, your mental health is never 100%. Just like your physical health is not 100% ever. You may feel good, but your diet might be poor. That's all to do with people, but I digress. So let's go back to the titles. Prince Harry received the dukedom titles because he let the Queen believe that he was going to be a working member of the royal family. Now it's come to light through the book and through other sources that they had intended to leave all along, that they never planned to work, be members of the working members of the royal family. And that if they did, it was under their conditions, basically blackmail. If you once they got the title, says if you want us to work, this is how we want it. That's not how you do it. Now, a lot has been made about Meghan Markle talking about being linked and not ranked. Unfortunately, that's not how life is. Even if you work in any organization, the president of the company outranks the vice president. That's how life is everywhere. You go to a hospital, the doctor outranks the nurse outranks the nurse's aide. That's how life is. But what Meghan Markle wanted was to be the top-ranking member of the royal family and do whatever she wanted, because that's what she thought she could do. So the only one who can remove the title is Her Majesty the Queen, not Parliament, not anybody. Members of Parliament have answered that, and I'm pretty sure that they got lawyers when they answered that because it's a royal title, they had nothing to do with it. So people are saying that hopefully Harry and Meghan, Harry will give up his titles to avoid the indignity of his grandmother removing it from him. Do we really think that Harry knows what dignity is? Do people still now think that they believe Harry to be an honorable man? We now know, what I've always said, that Buckingham Palace has been covering all of his nasty traits. The only reason why people didn't see this Harry was because Buckingham Palace has a leash on a lot of newspapers reporters, and a lot of newspaper reporters were covering for him. Harry is a racist, disgusting person, in my opinion. This is my opinion. What people are seeing now is who he is. Meghan Markle came along and you see both their traits. Meghan Markle, I can guarantee you, she's going to say she's pregnant now. Just wait for a pregnancy announcement or a miscarriage announcement, because this is what she told the judge. I'm pretty sure of it. This is my opinion. That she told the judge, listen, I had a miscarriage. Therefore, I'm a high-risk pregnancy and I'm pregnant again. This is why the judge granted those 9 months, extension. So I don't think she was pregnant in July. I think she might be talking about another time she was pregnant. Because if you look at her physically and everywhere, it doesn't match. Her actions do not match her words. So I'm babbling about all of this to arrive to the following point. Her Majesty the Queen is the only one who can remove the titles. And if you look at this, Princess Beatrice and Eugenie did not get additional titles. Why? Because they're not working members of the royal family. So therefore, Harry, Her Majesty the Queen, can say, listen, you got the dukedom titles based on the fact that you were going to be working for the royal family, for the royal family. That is no longer the case, so you no longer have the title. You're no longer HRH. People say that he was born with it. Not really. That is a dignity bestowed upon by the Queen. For example, Archie Mountbatten, the Harry's kid, he doesn't have the HRH title. He has no title. So that can be done as well. It's up to the Queen. People have been making it all this, no, it's Parliament. It's really not. Royal titles that's one of the few powers that the Queen has, and I've been saying this all along. She can give and take. So people really have to put pressure on Her Majesty the Queen to deliver and remove all titles from Harry. He claimed he wanted to be just Harry, and Meghan just wants to be linked, not ranked. Then grant them their wishes, because unfortunately, because Her Majesty the Queen, I know she's a grandmother, but she's the head of state, and she has made it very clear she has no plans to retire. And the majority of people are saying that they don't want Harry nor Meghan to represent them, because to this day, they're still representing the crown. They're still representing Her Majesty. They're still representing the UK and the Commonwealth. That is not right. Remove the titles. They really have to. And again, Her Majesty the Queen, people keep going that it's unprecedented. So what? It's no big deal. You were made a duke because you told us that you were going to be working with us. That is no longer the case. You quit, you leave your title. When you quit working for a company, you don't keep the title as though you're an active member of the company. You don't. They remove you from their website. Actually, sometimes they don't even let you come back to the company. They send your stuff over. So what do you think? What do you think about all of this? Do you think Her Majesty the Queen actually is going to remove the titles? Because it is up to her. And I wonder if people are still thinking that Harry is going to do the right thing. Do we really believe that these two are capable of doing the right thing? I don't know. That's just my opinion. Let me know what you think.